Hi everybody, welcome to this week's episode of Nazo Circus. Today I have my guest, and her name is Duchess Iphie. She is an intimacy, sex and relationship coach. Say hello.
Hi everyone, how y'all doing?
Okay, so if you've been here before, we talked about intimacy, right?
Yes, we did.
And before you left, you said, we must talk about sex though.
Hey, I don't recall saying such a thing. I don't recall. I think you are the one that said that.
No, you did. I can play it back, right?
Okay.
You said, we must discuss sex. So today's topic is sex and the mature woman.
Okay.
And I've narrowed it down to the mature woman because I know that a lot of my audience will be, slightly older generation like myself. And so we want to talk about sex and explore it. So my first question to you is, how important is sex in a relationship as we all get older?
Oh, wow. Okay. How important is sex in a relationship as we get older?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know, in a way, I think I'm going to actually just slightly change that a bit because everyone's not in a relationship and they are having sex.
True.
So let's not limit it to just those in a relationship. Yes, beautiful as it is to have it within the confines of relationship, but you know how it is nowadays.
The pool is getting smaller.
There's not plenty of fishes anymore. So, the piranhas are there. But on a serious note, I think that when in direct response to your question, how important is sex? Sex is very important. In short, I will go as far as saying it's as important as food.
Really? That important?
Yes, and I know, you're not the important as people say really. Some other people say really. But think of it this way, yeah? We eat food in order to nourish our bodies, to regenerate ourselves. That's the same thing that sex does for a relationship. It's exactly the same. That is how you get close to each other. That is how you share your body, your bodily fluids.
Oh dear.
We have to keep it true now. Your bodily fluids. You even share part of your soul, because that's why people say, people have their soul ties and all that kind of stuff, because it's and I'm going to use the word, it's an intimacy that you don't share with another person.
True.
You don't share. So you and I are close, but sis, you're not my type. So therefore, therefore, it's not gonna that intimacy is never gonna happen. So it's only going to be with somebody that you want to share that with. And before somebody come against me and say, but I shall what they do. I know say I shall what they do. But that one's a whole different ballgame.
That's a different issue.
That's work. That's just business. So let's park that to one side. So it's not like I'm ignoring it. But on a serious note, though, in a relationship, it's part of what lubricates the relationship. It builds the connection. It builds the closeness. It builds the strength. It builds the ability to converse. Do you know how many times people are angry and shouting at each other just because they never knock or they have not had an orgasm? Do you know? Frustration is doing you left, right, center. You don't even understand what's going on. And most times it's because somebody is not feeling the release or the connection of physical intimacy, sex. If you like, call it making love or sex or whichever.
Call it knacking or knacking or chuking.
Or chuking. Anything you want to call it is all the same thing. It is very, 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 very important. It is the oil for a relationship. Okay. Very much so.
Thank you. You've given me a proper full answer.
I try.
It's as important as food.
Yeah, so.
Okay. So what I was thinking was, why is it still, even as we get older, why is sex as a topic still like a taboo? People still don't want to talk about sex like it's a disease. Like, why? Especially as we get older, I understand when you're much younger, you don't want to, you know what I mean, come across as a whatever. But as we're now older, why are people still very hush-hush about sex? Why?
Because I think, and people are free to disagree whenever, but I think that the reason why, especially us, and I'm referring to us as in our generation, is because we're still carrying that mentality from the culture, the way we were brought up, the way we were taught. So
so the Nigerian culture,
exactly. Or, you can even go as far as the African culture.
Okay, African, yes.
Where religion says abstain. Religion says
no fornication,
no adultery. And I'm not talking about whether it's good or bad, not that. But what I'm saying is that they talk so much about the negative side of sex that no one has actually talked to us about the positive side of sex. So even when we get married and we're now looking at it, okay, we have sex because we want to have children for procreation, but we don't think about the pleasures of it. Oh, allow the man needs to have his thing. But what about the women? No one talks about the women. So we now grow up believing that our body is for the pleasure of the man. So whatever the man wants, we give him. Our pleasures are not important. Then, because we can't talk about it to anybody, because if it's who do we want to go to and say, actually, I don't know what an orgasm is. I don't like how he's touching my breast. Who are you going to discuss it with? Because if you go to the church, at that time, the church will be like, it's not the most important thing. Try and be Proverbs 31 woman. And there's nothing sex about that. If you want to talk about Songs of Solomon, people will shut you down and say, is that the only book in the Bible? So every time you mention sex, it's almost as though there is some negative connotation with it. And with anything, once it has that negative thing around it, you don't talk about it.
Yeah.
And then as we're growing, and even though we're thinking that we're being more open or we're more educated, we still have that cultural thing on us that tells us, that makes us believe that if we talk about this, then we're bad people or we're bad girls. You're not respectable. You're not responsible. You're not edifying what a wife should be by talking about sex. There's other more important things you should talk about, like making money and all the other things. And you're like, actually, no, that's not the case.
Yeah.
So as we're slowly trying to move away from that, we're not having the conversation though. Yeah. The people that know, I mean, yes, you get guys who have that gist though, but the guys, I mean, and guys, yes, I know you're going to say, but how do you know? But let's be honest. You guys will talk about it from an enjoyment, who you have conquered, that kind of, you don't really have deep conversations about this unless it's with your party, the guy that's really your person. Guys don't really have that. But girls, we do.
Yes.
But the problem is that we're talking with our girls, but we don't go home and talking to the person that
really
need to talk it sweet. You know what I'm saying? We don't have the conversation with the guy person we're supposed to have that conversation with. So we're carrying all this burden and all this frustration, and we're not communicating because one, we are afraid to communicate because we don't want to be judged. We don't want the man to also respond to us in a way that will hurt us and make the situation even worse.
So you just keep quiet and suck it up.
Exactly. And then also, if we say we're going to go and speak to our pastor, you don't want tomorrow now when you're raising holy hands, the pastor may be looking at you and say, this one raising holy hand, but you want to do some serious bedmatics. So we then stay in that cycle of not speaking to anyone. And then we don't want to go and seek professional help because we think it's not worth the money to pay. So you're now stuck.
It's not worth the money, or we don't even first of all, we don't even believe, some of us don't even believe that anything will come out from it. So that's already
because they want to see something immediate. And it's like, it's not immediate now. It doesn't happen
so we're stuck in a rut, basically.
We are stuck in a rut.
So what is the way forward? Talking about it.
The way forward, aunties, first of all, I would say you have to even admit that you have a sexual desire. Start
point one.
Number one, you have to admit you have sexual desire. You also have to also believe that you are sexy and sensual in yourself, because it starts with you first, regardless of what the man does or the woman. If you're into that, because let me not exclude anybody. Whatever your partner is into, if you are not believing and you're not present, then you're wasting your time. So you have to believe you have desire. You have to believe you're sensual. You also have to discover what you like.
That's what I was gonna say. How do you tell somebody what you need when you yourself have not discovered what
exactly?
What it is?
But now, if you tell them now to begin to touch themselves, now they will say, "Hey, they say no." But auntie, let's be realistic. When you are learning how to drive, you have to enter the car to drive. If you are learning how to cook, you have to cook. You have to try cook the food yourself. So it might work, it might not work. So how are you expecting to know what you like and what you don't like if you are not experiencing it for yourself?
True.
Forget because at the end of the day, the first minute, if you want to go Christian-wise, because I don't want to speak for any other religion because I don't know it. But if you want to talk, they said if you're in a relationship or if you're in a marriage, bed undefiled. So nothing you do within the confines of marriage is a sin. Anybody wants to challenge me on that, come and challenge me.
Free.
You have
I
free
haven't
right.
been married, so I don't even.
You have
that's
free right.
free
to do and undo according to how you want to do it. After all, it's the same Bible that says if you are fasting, the man say, "Auntie, I want you." You need to put the fasting to one side and make yourself available because there's no agreement. So, putting that aside, the truth of the matter is that you've got to know what you like. Yes, the sensation and the pleasure will not be the same as if you're with a man, but you have to have a starter for 10 of what you like. So if you know that you don't want your nipples to be pressed hard, you need to know for yourself first. Because trust me, if the man comes in hard, he already turns you off, that you wouldn't even know that you like a softer touch because you're already turned off.
And the poor man is thinking that he's
You know?
he's hitting. So now that we're talking about this particular issue, can we talk about sex toys in this context? When we're saying to people, when we're saying to women, first of all, admit, you need to know that you have a desire and that you need to know what you want.
Yep.
Can we talk about sex toys? Because this issue of sex toys, there's a big divide.
I agree. So sex toys. Now the thing about it, when you're talking about know your own desires, you're talking about self-pleasure. I don't like the word masturbation. I prefer self-pleasure.
It sounds nice. I like that.
Self-pleasure. So when you talk about self-pleasure, you're talking about your hands, or you're talking of, if let me sound very Nigerian, apparatus. Some sort of apparatus. But
or gadgets.
Something that is either battery operated or not battery operated. But anyway, those are the things that can also help. Now, people will say, but it's not the same as a human being. It's rubber. Or it can replace. If you start going there, then a man can never be enough. That's foul. It's not true. There are different sensations for different reasons and different times. The reality is that using a sex toy on yourself also gets you to understand your own erogenous zones. And it's not just, realistically, it's not just the vagina. So you have to understand. Some people use their toys. Actually, they always say that if you want to test the strength of a toy, you should either put it on the tip of your nose or the center of at the side of your hip. Will let you know whether you're going to gel with the vibration of the vibrator. But anyway, so having that, it doesn't replace a man. Because if we look at it logically and with common sense, a vibrator cannot kiss you. Vibrator doesn't have body heat. Vibrator cannot do anything more than the button that you press.
That you want it to do.
It cannot spoon you afterwards. You can't even fight with yourself, so you can make up afterwards. So, so there's so many things that a man or your partner provides to you that a vibrator can never do. But a vibrator also has its place where if you want a quick something, sharp, it's there to relieve that tension. Use it for that. But in the terms of self-pleasure, knowing what you like, it's even just the fact that knowing that even maybe if you use a dildo, which is most people use for penetration, you realize actually penetration is not your thing, and then you use a vibrator, which for external pleasure is your thing. Then you know that when you go to meet your man, you now can tell him that actually I don't really come by this penetration. So therefore, let's focus on foreplay, so that I can get off. So when you that wants the foreplay because you know you want to enter the warm home, then we understand ourselves.
The warm home.
That we understand ourselves, and then we both get the pleasure, and nobody's feeling frustrated. And then with over time, you might just like the act of penetration anyway, even though you don't have an orgasm, but your man knows that, okay, for my babe, this is how she operates. But how are you going to know that if you don't? Whatever. You have to experiment. And that's where the experimentation comes in. And some people say, hey, no. But sex is meant to be explored. Nobody came into this earth being a sex expert,
sex guru.
I mean, Solomon had to have 1,000 people.
Solomon was greedy. Let's leave Solomon to one side. He needed all those people.
Exactly. But he wrote a whole book on it. So the things about pleasure, about sex, about desire, libido, all of that is an exploration. It's something that is a journey. How I was in my 20s, not how I am now in my 40s. It will not be how I am in my 60s. The things I want are different. I'll be exposed to more things which may tickle my fancy or might not tickle my fancy. But it's a continuous journey of exploration that couples tend to forget. The thing is, okay, we have nailed down, you like missionary. Bros, you like doggy. Okay, everybody, that's it. It's finished. Church has closed. And you're like, come on, it doesn't work like, because your body is changing. The things you know are changing. So you have to explore.
And at this point, I think that this is a time to introduce this body change thing. This time to introduce menopause.
Oh, Chim.
That's day that's doom. Should be what they call it. Is it doomsday or doomsday? I don't even know. That we don't want. So this menopause, we will all go through it. Okay.
Yeah.
And so, also following up on what you're saying, it's important that we're constantly exploring, because things will change, our bodies will change, our likes will change, and we need to be able to convey this to whoever we're dealing with. Or we even need to know that for ourselves. If we're even, in your words, self-pleasuring, which I quite like. I'm going to start borrowing that. That's my new phrase. I like self-pleasure. So, yeah. And that's why we're discussing this as much. And we said mature women because obviously Gen Z, I'm Gen Z, they're fine.
Yeah, fine. No.
It's us that
still
are
standing.
Yeah. Are there any other tips you can give us?
But you see, the whole thing about menopause, body changes, the thing about is that, I mean, we're lucky that we live in a world where, you can do surgery to lift your breast, flatten your stomach, make your nyash big.
If you have money now.
If you have money. But the reality is that breast is going to fall. You're going to go through you're going to go through menopause, you're going to go through perimenopause and the rest of it. We as women, we also need to recognize that our bodies are changing.
Yeah.
We need to understand what those changes are and how it affects our intimacy with our partners. Because if we don't know them, we can't explain them as we start the journey. Because think about it. For perimenopause, which is before premenopause, you're going through different symptoms. So you might have brain fog, forgetfulness. You might have the hot flushes, but then they stop and they go away and you're back to normal. Or you might have mood swings. But the thing about it is that if you don't recognize you're in that stage, if you don't, your partner's going to be looking at you. Something's wrong with you.
You're moving mad, as they say.
Seriously,
as the younger ones say,
honestly,
you're moving mad.
I remember I had a boyfriend who was one that made me recognize that I someone from PMS. I did not really realize. He just said, "You're always see." There's a certain you're cranky. After then, your period come. I was like, "No way, what are you talking about?" And lo and behold, I became more aware and realized that yes, this is what
actually,
happened. So now there's things my body does now that I know.
It's you're there.
7 days
it's off.
period's coming. I know. But these are the things that we're so busy taking care of other people and doing other things that we don't notice what our body is doing. But we need to start to recognize it so that we can tell. So when you're becoming over emotional and we get easily upset, you know what is happening. Truth of matter is that we are going to get to vaginal dryness.
Hey.
It's going to happen. So we need to remember that there are gels that are out there for you to use to help with the lubrication. Because, bros, when you enter us and we are not wet, it is very painful. And it can't be enjoyable for you either.
Before you even get there, bros, it may just not because we don't like you or we're not feeling you. It's just not. It's not happening.
It's not coming. The old me is not coming.
Not answering us.
The body is not.
The body is not answering us. So be patient with us.
Patient.
Let's assist you to assist us.
That's it. Let us assist you to assist us. Exactly. Don't just take it personal all the time. It's not the case. The body is just, as you said, the body is not.
It's just not answering us.
Not answering us. So so it's being open to the fact that there's some. We women, we're open to the fact that maybe there's some hormones that we need to, or some tablets or herbal things that we need to take. I remember I was in a group where they were listing a whole heap of things that women can take that will make you wetter and more, your libido going up. But all those things all help. Because the thing is, if you're trying, it signals to your partner that you care about the sex with them. But if you're not doing anything like, it is what it is, what do you expect your partner to do? After a while of not having sex with them, what are they going to do? It's unfair on them. Because tomorrow, if they then fall into the prey of somebody else
who's lurking by the streets, by the street side,
and their bodies, the water is producing.
A water producing Sabi girl.
Yeah, exactly. It's
your man, you don't go.
You don't go. And it's those things that you want to try and prevent as much as possible. So at least you're doing your bit. Because we are going to go through this menopause. It's not going to run away. We must all get it at one time or the other. So you also have to start planning. How do you deal with that? And start to even prepare your man for this stage of your life.
That is coming.
That is coming because it must come. It's not a matter of, it's more, it's guaranteed. It's more guaranteed than your orgasm.
Hey, are you serious? Wow. Oh dear.
So you have to have that conversation. Help the man too, so that he's also prepared. Because if he's not, he wouldn't even know how to help you. Because especially if he's into you and he desires you, he's just going to want any small thing. Now his body is ready to be romanced.
And you're not even in the zone.
So you have to help him and say, babe, this is what's happening. This is a situation. Even if there's some times when babe, tonight is the night. At least he knows why you're on fire tonight. So he too will be like, even if my football club
You will
is
help
playing,
assist
they're going
me.
to press pause because baby needs me. And it's those kind of things. So our bodies, we need to start, as we're getting older, we need to start to be aware of the changes that are happening in our bodies physically and mentally and hormonally. Hey, I don't know for English.
So no, the hormonally, the hormonally is a big one. The hormonally is a big one because I think physically, yes, maybe that's easier to identify, but hormonally, it's very tough.
Exactly, and you know, we're being told you use HRT, it might bring more cancer. You know, so all those
everybody's
things.
confused about this whole HRT
Exactly.
thing.
So you don't really know. So you're kind of like, you're battling that, and that's why you need to keep her involved in what's going on, so that they can also help you, and so that doesn't become a major issue and a major friction, because it's going to cause friction anyway by the fact that you're going to be cranky. Yeah. So if you can find ways to smoothen the edges at least, why not do it? This is the person, with the person you love now.
Yeah, and you know, to keep your relationship alive, and even if you're not in a relationship, to keep your sexual experiences.
Exactly.
Even if you're having one night stands, you still have to.
As I said, the more you use it, the more you like
True.
You said true.
True.
Yeah, me, I always said, if you know you don't like sex, I always say, if you don't like sex, schedule it. People like, hey, it's supposed to be spontaneous. Why must it be spontaneous? Who says that it has to be spontaneous?
Yeah.
If you people, then make it an occasion. If you know it's every Sunday, that is the day you people have time, maybe children are not around, if you have young children, whatever the case may be, then you know you plan it. You know that's the day you're going to soak yourself in the bath, and do something, you know, shave his up here. Then you prepare, and you know this is our meeting. Today is the day we meet. Then, because the more you do, because you're now present and you're enjoying it, you're more likely to want to do it again.
Yeah.
But if you're having bad, then what's the point?
And because you're also not under any pressure. You know what I mean? Because if you're thinking, oh my God, I'm not in the mood, this one wants to come and tap me the next minute.
But
then,
no, but sometimes guys, you put, can you just give a cuddle? You see, this is I always say it every time. Anytime I'm on a microphone, bros, a cuddle is a cuddle. A cuddle does not mean you should be putting something in our back at the same time and saying, but you know, let it lead to something. Sometimes we just want a cuddle. Can you hear that?
Yeah.
But no, but I agree with you about the whole fact of, you know, it's you're in it, you're enjoying it, because I just think that sometimes even the whole dance preparation toward it makes it exciting too.
Yeah.
Because nowadays we don't even have time to really prepare about it. We're just like, okay, you got yes,
Yeah.
okay, we're going to bed. That's fine. And then, you know, we are kind of like, it just happens. And even though it's good, sometimes you just want the whole, what I would call a ceremony of making love. Sometimes you just want that. So, yeah. You know,
So,
good.
I have a question.
Yeah.
How do you tell your spouse you are not in the mood? How do you, without sounding like off? How would you? What are the subtle ways or the softer ways?
That is a very, I can give generic answers, but the truth of the matter is that you are the person that knows your partner the best. You should do anyway. And you know the best way to speak to them. I would always say that if you're not in the mood, explain why. Don't just say no. Give them a reason so that they understand why you're not in the mood. So it's not a case that it's just an excuse. Because when you say, I'm not in the mood, or no, or leave me alone, or must we do it now, you're rejecting them wanting to be close to you. That's not nice. They might as well drop the phone.
But what if it's like, you know, we're talking about hormones. What if it's like you're just not mentally there and he's not going to understand what that means?
But then that means you've not been having a conversation about what your hormonal issues are now. So we're educating you that you should do that. But because if you're given reason, if you've already prepared your man to say, I'm going, this is coming, I'm hitting that phase now.
So you have to tell your man about the changes going on.
You have to let him know. You can't, he's not a mind reader. He's not going through that change. He's never going to understand unless you tell him. And a lot of us don't
We just
tell our men.
navigate.
We just assume that they should know. Can you not see my face? He can see us.
Or maybe a lot of us, we assume that they should know, or also a lot of us were just trying to handle it. You know, this menopause thing, some people, it's very extreme. I've seen people who are very open. Like I've had conversations with people that will tell you everything they're going through, symptoms, whatever. And then there are people who want to handle it themselves.
But you know why? going through menopause is almost like a decline in your femininity. You're no longer having periods. That means you can't have children. So what most of us believe is the essence of being a woman is the ability to have children. Every time your period comes, whether or not you don't want children or not, the fact that you can. You're still releasing an egg. Now you're telling me that I can't do that. Whether I don't want to or not. So that essence, which is a shame because it's not what makes us feminine.
Yeah.
But we qualify it as we're losing our womanhood. So there's a loss there. But we don't even mourn it. But somewhere in our subconscious, we're feeling a loss of something that we can't articulate to anyone because they wouldn't understand it. They were like, I beg, are you the first person? And sometimes we don't allow ourselves to go through the feelings that we're going through because we're all different. I mean, I may not mourn it because I'm like, thank God I don't have to buy always.
Yeah.
Somebody else,
It's very expensive right now.
But somebody else would want to mourn it. And if they don't, but they want to handle themselves because they're like, no one's going to understand. People are going to say, but many people do. It's like even when you're pregnant, it's like you're the first person to have a child. But the way you're going through that pregnancy is for you. Nobody understands how it's affecting your body. So with that, it's like you have the people that will talk about it and the people that won't talk about it just because they just feel that no one's going to understand them because it's a normal thing that happens. You know, so in the same way so telling your man that you're not in the mood, you have to explain. But I'm always a firm believer that even when you say not in the mood, give him something to look forward to. Babe, I'm not in the mood today, but tomorrow. What about tomorrow? And then keep your word, though. Because there's nothing worse than you tell a man tomorrow. The man is thinking about he will now come and hold you, and then he will now say, no. Keep your word and do what you need to do to make sure that you are present for your man. It's not a case of just your body being there, but you mentally being there and participating in what is happening as well. Because there's nothing worse. I can't imagine that for a man, it would be nice that he's just humping away at somebody who is somewhere else. I can't imagine that it would be nice. Unless
he has
unless he's
another issue.
You know? So it's the case of explain. Because your man deserves an explanation. It's not fair because you're in it together. Imagine if you wanted, and I'm stereotyping, but if you wanted money from your man and he said no, you'd feel so hurt.
Now, without telling you why
this
money didn't come through.
Exactly.
You have to wait till next
it's
month.
no different.
True.
It's just even our children, we tell them no, and we tell them we are not giving it because this and this. So if we can do that for children, how about the man that we love, the person or the woman that we love, our partner in everything? They deserve an explanation. It just shows that you respect them. Because and I'm not saying everybody will take the excuse and go with it, but at least you are showing I respect you. So next time when they bring and say, but babe, I told you why.
True.
I need you. You know, if it's that you don't have time, or the kids are stressing on housework, babe, I need your help with this so that I can also make time for you.
For you, yeah.
It's the thing about it, but we're afraid to be vulnerable in that way. But we have to be, because the same way we can be vulnerable and say, babe, I don't have money. It's the same way I can be vulnerable and say, babe, I need your help in this because I would also want to enjoy what we're doing together.
Yeah.
I want to enjoy it. I want to be present. I want what we're doing to mean something to you and to mean something to me, so that when we fall asleep, we're both contented. It's not even about orgasm being the goal. Some people don't need an orgasm to enjoy the journey of having sex. But I want to enjoy it with you. I want to be present. And sometimes I need you to step in to do something. Even if you just put the kids to bed so I can quickly have a shower. Because when I have a shower, I feel fresh, I feel connected. Whatever the case may be. But we need to start to learn to really have conversations and start to explain more rather than just cutting and saying, well, I've told you no, that's it.
That's it.
That's not a thriving relationship. And it's not going to grow. What will end up happening is that your relationship will die a death somewhere along the line.
Yeah.
You know.
And as we get older, we see that the pool is probably non-existent.
It is now. It's getting more difficult.
Single men are becoming extinct. Single men are becoming extinct. So if you're in a relationship, do what you need to do.
What you need to do, because it's not about the man being the prize. It's about a loving, thriving relationship being the prize.
Yes,
that's what it's about. You know, so you've got to do what you need to, and we are focused on women because we're not men, and we're not.
Of course, we can't speak. Men. Yeah, we can't speak for men.
So so we're going to say this is what we also need to do to contribute, because it's easy to say we are blaming men all the time, But we also have to play our part. It takes two. We have to do our own bit to help them too.
It'd be nice to have a segment for men, but you know, our Nigerian men. Nigerian men, I'm coming for you.
Yes,
our
so-
Nigerian men, you people are too. You people don't like to. You people are very. What's this? Is it conservative? Is it the word conservative?
I don't even know if
I don't even know if the word is conservative.
I just think it's.
It's difficult to get them to like. I would like to have a session.
They don't want their friends to come and say.
To come and say-
this is what you said. This is what you.
Maybe I can do a session that's anonymous. I could do an anonymous session.
Yeah, it's possible.
Unless people's
So,
friends will
hide their
identify
voice.
their voice. Because it's very difficult to get, like, you know, I have male friends, they will tell me things, but will they agree to come? Because awareness is key, isn't it?
Oh yeah, and the thing about it is that the same way that women should be speaking up, we also need men to speak up as well, because
Yeah,
we also
so we
want to
know
know
how
what they're
to-
thinking,
yeah.
and also how to engage with them on the way that they want to be loved, they want to be.
And how they feel.
Yeah,
Man, we don't know how they feel.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You know, tell me what's going on so I can do my bit. If you're feeling neglected, if you're feeling unloved, if you're saying respect is what you need more than me babying you and calling you baby, fine, then let me know. If you want me to rub your head and not your chest,
Tell me.
what is it that
Yes.
you want?
Yeah.
Because we two are not mind readers either. We're just going to go by what we thought worked last time. And it might not work for you.
Yeah.
And then you're frustrated and you're not telling us because you think, oh, if you tell us, we'll hit the roof. But you know what? We can only hit the roof once.
True. So if you're a man and you're listening and you're
Yeah,
interested in letting me know your views, or your comments, you can please put a comment in the section. You can or DM me privately. You can do that anonymously as well. But we would like to know what men feel, because we're not men and we don't want to be men. We're not trying to be men.
Nope.
So you've got to tell us.
Yes, I agree. Absolutely. Man, come up. Come and speak, because, if you don't speak, we can't play a part.
And don't
we
come and
need each
blame
other.
us. So.
Don't blame us for just continue doing our thing like that. So then you come and be saying, oh, you listen to that just circus and they will just talk about. Then come and have
Come and speak.
truth.
Oh yes, so this is an open invite. This is an open invite. Okay, so to round up, you said that sex is as important as food.
Yep.
I will remember that. And do you have any other tips before we go? Is there anything else you want to say rounding up?
Variety is the spice of life.
In what sense?
It doesn't always have to be missionary. It doesn't have to be doggy. It doesn't have to be penetration. It doesn't have to be reverse cowgirl. There are
All those things like they watched on Pornhub or somewhere.
Exactly. There's so many ways to gain pleasure, derive pleasure, experience pleasure. Be open to it all. Okay, yes, okay. Let me be careful and say that. Yes, there's some things that are hard limits. I agree. If you're not into certain things, you're not into certain things. I understand that. But at least be open for a discussion. So, be open to a discussion. So, if it's a hard no, tell them it's a hard no. But if it's something that maybe you're kind of, it's like, okay.
Yeah, we can meet somewhere in the middle.
We can meet somewhere in the middle. Then it's fine. But don't just make everything a hard no. And
this is for men and women.
yeah, and don't let culture and religion be a barrier to you enjoying your relationship.
Absolutely.
Because at the end of the day, once we are, trying to live a righteous life, married people, we know, have been given dispensation.
They're giving you,
and yet they are even just
they're even the ones
messing up.
They're even abusing it. They're not even using the.
They're not even using it, and you people are the ones that are suffering the most. So married people, I'm coming for you people. To be honest with you, you guys need to talk more, try more, experiment more. Just understand each other's body a lot more, because you'll be surprised how many places that can turn you on that you don't even know. It's not just the breast, the penis, the vagina, nipple. That's
the back
not
of
all.
your neck. The
ear. The ear ones. Please stop putting saliva in our ear. Stop it. But on a serious,
slapping away.
But on a serious note, though, truth of the matter is that we all need to communicate a lot more about what we desire, what we want to try, what is even a hard no, what you don't even enjoy. Say, because some of us, we are suffering in silence, so we're allowing somebody to give us bad sex. It's not acceptable. Why? Communicate, talk about it, because we can't say that we are boss women, as we like to call ourselves sometimes. You're bossing at work, you're bossing everywhere else, but then until in the bedroom, you're as timid. Unless you're submissive, but that's a whole different ballgame. We can talk about it another time. But even within the submissiveness, still speak your truth, because at the end of the day, if you're enjoying it, he's enjoying it. If he's enjoying it, you're enjoying it.
True.
And both of you are enjoying it.
Yeah.
And
True.
sex is food.
True.
Don't let anybody lie to you.
Sex is food. Okay. So, Duchess Iphie, where can people find you? Because you are, after all, a coach. Tell us where people can find you if anyone's interested in your services.
So anyone that wants to speak to me can just send me a message on Facebook, Duchess Iphie, Iphie, and I'm on Instagram, Duchess_Iphie, or actually I have a business page as well, which is Duchess Secrets. And you can send me an email at info@duchesssecrets.com. Anyway, so if you Google Duchess Iphie, I will come up somewhere. So, you can find me in any of those ways. I think my number is probably on my business page, Duchess Iphie, on Facebook. And let's talk.
I think I like that on Facebook. You're very present. You're very interactive. So no one can say that they can't find you and your page is open.
Yeah, very open.
Yeah, so people can find you. Yeah. Okay, guys. Well, we had fun. You had fun today.
Thank you.
And you're coming back many times. No, forever and ever.
I like to talk about sex. Let me lie. So.
Forever and ever. Guys, we hope you guys had enjoyed today's episode. Please like, comment, share. If you have any comments, messages, whatever, put it there. If you want to email me, if you want to private message me, do that. You can do that anonymously. But yes, so next episode will be in 2 weeks. Until then, it's peace and love.